Chelsea, thank you so much for joining me to the Flawless Growth podcast. I am super, super excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Um, let's start with the first thing. Could you give us a quick personal introduction about who you are and what you do?
Sure. So I am the Chief Operating Officer at Open My World Therapeutic Writing Center, and we are an equine assisted services provider. So we have several programs launched right now. But our biggest one is our adaptive writing program. We give therapeutic horseback riding lessons to children and adults with disabilities. So we have a lot of other programs as well, but that is definitely our biggest one that we offer right now. Our youngest rider, I believe, is 4 years old, and our oldest rider is 7. So we have the entire range. Everybody rides with us, and it's just a lot of fun. So that's it. We are a fully nonprofit organization. So we are run by myself, our executive director, Jocelyn Franklin, and then we have instructors, and the entire staff is the rest are all volunteers. So it's a small family, but we have a good family going.
It's a small but good family, and also for a beautiful mission. So it's super
Yes.
worth it. I am super
Yeah.
excited to learn about equine therapy because I've heard a little bit about it in a podcast, um, but I've never done it. I don't know a lot about it, and I think it's super different, super unique, and so I am super excited to learn more. Like that horses are special for this kind of therapy, and I don't know, like when was it discovered, or if you know anything about that.
So it's relatively new. It's we work under an organization called PATH, and that is we're certified under that kind of umbrella organization. It's hard. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain it to somebody who hasn't seen it happen before. So it's there's the science part of it. There's the gait of a horse walking mimics the gait of a human walking, and so there's the medical side of things where for people who have mobility difficulties, you put them on a horse and it mimics the movement of a human gait. And so they're able to work those muscles and just relax the bones and just kind of it imitates a human walking. So with the mobility issues, that's one side of it. The emotional side of therapy, like horse therapy, equine assisted services in general, that is really hard to explain. It's the closest thing I can put it next to is magic. It's horses have such a calming presence, and people who have emotional trauma, for instance, they find solace and comfort in an animal that is calm and an animal that just sits and listens, really. Yeah. And so, with the emotional side of therapeutic writing is it's incredible. It really is incredible. It's it's so hard to explain. I love this question, but I hate this question because there are so many things about it. But it's so hard to explain to somebody who's never seen it happen before. We have so many amazing stories from all of our writers that come into this program who just they stay with us for years because it's a continual growth. It's not you come in with 3 set goals. Once you hit those goals, you're done. It's constantly moving forward. It's constantly evolving, and that's one of my favorite parts about working in this field with equine assisted services in general is just seeing the amount of personal growth that we have in all of our clients. It's inspiring. I'm inspired every single day. Every day I come to work, it's just another story and I see it as just like a breath of fresh air.
Very beautiful. I think the story that I've heard in that podcast about equine therapy was that they did kind of like a company. They took a whole company to do the therapy, and I believe the boss, when he got close to a horse, the horse kind of like got a little bit scared, like he wouldn't be near him, and he was like, "Wait, am I really that scary? Like his vibe was a little scary, and all of the company had to tell him like, yes, you're kind of scary. So it's like they have like a sixth sense, which is super interesting.
They really do. And with new clients, they're big animals. They can be
Yeah,
quite intimidating.
yeah,
And so for people who have never been around horses before, especially the parents, before they put their children into our program, they're kind of apprehensive about, okay,
right.
my little 5-year-old is going to be on top of this massive 900-pound animal.
Yep.
I'm not really sure about this. And so I always have to tell the parents, like, they will take care of your kids. They really do. They take care of everybody. They have, you're right. They have a sixth sense
Yeah.
where they just know. They know, and I can't explain it. I don't know how they know.
Right.
No idea how they know, but they do. They take care of their riders, and it's amazing to see. It really is.
Very cool. And have you guys had a kid, a small kid, or a bigger kid that it's maybe afraid of them, and how have you been able to help them overcome that fear?
So one of the things about therapeutic riding in general is there is no one size fits all when it comes to lesson plans.
Mm-hmm.
So all of our clients, they come to us with different needs, different struggles, different things that they live with, and so you kind of have to take situations like that as they come. So I'll give you one of our clients. He's he's so sweet. He I believe now he's 10 or 11 years old. When he first started with us, I was his instructor, and so I was the one leading his therapeutic lessons. The first day he came to the barn, he was just, just angry, terrified, screaming bloody murder the entire time. Wouldn't step foot in the barn, wouldn't touch the horse, just angry to be there. And he's nonverbal autistic, and so he can't communicate why he's angry, or he can't communicate why he doesn't want to be there. And so it was just a very angry outburst, and it was like that for maybe the first 3 lessons. And so from the very start, we realized, okay, we're not going to be able to put him on the horse immediately. This is going to be it's going to be a slow growth. This one is. And so we designed this game where he would take treats and hide them in the arena. And then he would lead the horse around and show where the treats were hidden. And so it started off like that. So he would go in before the horse, put all of the treats down, and then he would walk over and point to where the treats were. So we did that for a couple of months. And then after that, we gave him the lead rope. And so he was leading the horse to the treats. And then so we were doing that with different variations on that game for a couple of months. Mm-hmm. And then one day he has a tablet that he uses to communicate. Mm-hmm. And he just showed up to his lesson, and with his tablet, he said, "Chelsi, I want to ride."
Oh, that's so
and I
cute.
said, "Let's go." Let's go. So we saddled up and got him on, and he's been riding every week ever since then. And so it took a couple of months, but we got him to the point where he was confident enough and he knew the horse well enough that he knew that he was okay. And so, every client is different, every rider is different, and they all move at their own pace. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes we get a client that's 5 years old and wanting to get on immediately, and other times we get a client that's not so eager to get on. But we meet them where they are, and we work with them no matter what. So
very cool. Okay, and what led you to do this? Were you always a horse lover? How did you end up in this company?
I've always been a horse girl, for sure. Nice. There's a stereotype. I definitely get it. You can see the horse picture in my office.
First thing I saw.
Yeah. So I've always loved them ever since I was a kid. I rode any chance that I got, and I when I went off to college, I kind of lost touch with it. I went to school for pre-med. That's what I graduated with. And then after college, I did medical research for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And I hope my old boss doesn't watch this. I hated it.
It happens. We're all not made to do a single thing, and we have to experiment. It's the only way that we're gonna find
Yeah,
out. So,
yeah, it wasn't for me.
uh-huh.
It just didn't. I didn't feel like I was doing anything.
Okay, yeah.
You know, sitting in a lab, pipetting stuff, dealing with a bunch of paperwork is just.
Mm-hmm.
It was helpful on some level, but I wanted to be like boots on the ground. That's what I wanted to
Uh-huh.
do.
Uh-huh.
And so just kind of by chance, I found this and I applied to it. And my boss, she hired me. I don't know why, but she did. And I've been here for 2 years, and I love every second of it. The clients are amazing. My coworkers are amazing. The horses are amazing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just long story short, luck got me here, but I'm so grateful for it. Every day I'm grateful for it.
I love it. I love how we can sometimes stump up on things that have just like out of luck or out of whatever destiny. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I studied fashion design, um, and I couldn't find a job right when I got out of college. I was trying and trying and trying, and finally, just because I knew English, there was this marketing company that in because I am originally from Colombia, and so when I lived there, there was this marketing company there that serviced clients in the U.S., but they were there. And so they were looking just for people that knew how to speak English. And even though I didn't know anything about marketing, they're like, "Yeah, it's fine. You speak English. We'll teach you." And that's how I ended up doing marketing, and I love it.
It's crazy how different your life is
Yes.
compared to how you thought it would be
Right?
5 years ago. It's crazy.
100%. It's like I always thought I was gonna, and I love fashion. I still love it, but I always thought I was gonna do that, and but now I'm just in love with marketing as well. So you can discover passions a lot of different ways.
Absolutely.
Okay, and how would you describe maybe I know that some lessons can be different depending on the person, but what would be in general like a typical lesson and what goes in like before when you're planning it? How do you approach that?
So we do lesson plans every week for all of our clients. But with the clientele that we have, you never know what state they're going to be in when they show up for their lesson.
Mm.
So they could be having a really good day where the lesson plan goes off perfectly, or they could be having a really bad day where you have to do a 180 and say, okay, well, we're not going to be able to trot today. Let's do something that we can do today.
Yeah.
So it's you can plan however long you want before a lesson, but it really comes down to what is the client going to need day of? What are they going to show up to the barn with? What energy level do they have? What capacity do they have to learn something new today? So it's really taking it one lesson at a time. One thing that we really like to instill in all of our riders is just the confidence of being as independent as possible, because a lot of these people go through life seeing either schoolmates or coworkers or people at home doing things that they either can't do or have a lot of trouble doing.
Mhm.
And so the confidence to show up here and ride and control a 900-pound animal, that is not something that a lot of other people can do. And so there's confidence that's instilled in them by making them as independent in that process as possible. And so for the majority of our clients, depending on how physically able they are, of course, we have them do everything from start to finish. So they go out into the pasture and catch the horse that they're going to be riding. They bring it back into the barn. They do all of the grooming. They do all of the tacking, getting the saddle and everything ready and on. Um, they mount the horse. It usually takes about 20 minutes to get everything ready. So once they mount the horse, the rest of the lesson is spent mounted. So they ride all of the activities. We have a what's called sensory trail, and so it has a lot of different activities, cognitive stimulants, a bunch of different textures, things that just get the brain moving. All of that is done on horseback. And so they mount start to finish. Everything that's done is done on horseback. And then when they are done, they dismount and they're responsible for getting all of the stuff off the horse, putting everything away, and it's just it's a really big confidence builder for all of them. Where it's I might not be able to do this at school, but here at the barn I can do this, and nobody else at school can do that. And that's kind of that's an empowering thing for especially for our younger riders. It's very empowering.
100%. And I love what you mentioned at the beginning. Like sometimes we can have all this preparation into our jobs or with life, and then life has other plans, and you have to. Um, there's a lot of improvising that happens in life, and you have to be fine with it, and you have to start learning and to not get super scared, not go crazy, but just take the situation as it comes and adapt as much as you can.
Yes, improvising is a really good word to use. Yeah.
Yes. And we're all doing it, like from us, and then even CEOs, presidents, whatever, they're doing it as well. Do you have, Chelsea? Do you have any other success stories that you remember a lot, apart from the one that you just told us about, that they had to be months before riding a horse?
Yes, I have so many. I actually have a journal where I keep all of them in. So if I ever have a bad day, I just go in and read things, and it's like, okay, this is a reminder. This is why you do this. So one of my favorite moments as an instructor, one of my riders who was also nonverbal autistic, he said his first word ever during our lesson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so at the end of when he showed up to the barn, I'd always encourage him to say hi to his horse, and of course he'd either use his tablet or he'd sign, and so that was his way of communicating, and I never pushed it. I always just encouraged him to say hi. At the end of the lesson, I always encouraged him to say bye to the horse, which again he would either sign or wave or use his tablet. But just randomly, and there was no lead up to this. It was just, I think we had been working together for maybe 6 months, 7 months when this happened. As always, I encouraged him to say bye to his horse. His horse is named Candela. And he said bye verbally, and that was the first word he'd ever spoken. And his parents were there. His dad started just crying.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody was crying. I was crying. It's very emotional. And it gives me goosebumps talking about it.
It's
so
beautiful.
Now I watched one of his lessons just the other week. We don't work together anymore. I passed his lesson along when I got promoted, but now he says hi and bye to his horse every day. They're walking on, or they're working on saying walk on when he wants the horse to move. So he says walk sometimes. He's working on saying whoa. So it's just, like I mentioned earlier, there's not like you set a goal, once you achieve it, it's done. It's continual. And yeah, I miss him so much.
Oh, that's so cute. I will be crying too.
So we love each other like family. We really do. We work with these families every week, and you really get to know them, and you get to know their stories. And when you get to know them on such a personal level, and they share, their struggles with you, and how difficult just life in general is, just getting up in the morning is very difficult for some of them. Yeah. When they come here and there's such a breakthrough like that, it's so inspiring. It's so inspiring. I could talk for hours. I have so many stories that I could just sit here and blab at you, but yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Oh, that is so beautiful. That is so inspiring, and it's so cool that you have a journal so you don't forget. I love that. Yes. And how do they go, like once a week, once a month? How does it usually work, or it depends?
It depends on the rider. The majority of our riders come for 1 hour every week.
Okay.
And we have a couple that come every other week. So that just depends on their schedules. We do have a couple that come twice a week as well. So, but the majority come for 1 hour once a
Very cool. Okay. And from what I've read in my investigation, there's you guys have 10 horses, right?
We just got a few more,
Oh
so now we're
wow.
up to 12.
Okay, awesome. And so managing
Yeah.
12 horses, the positive side is that you love horses so much. What can be some of the difficult part of managing 12 horses?
Like to describe our horses as 900-pound toddlers. So
Yes.
they have quite the attitude, quite the personality, and they are also, when I tell you they're accident prone, that doesn't even begin to cover it.
Oh
It's
wow.
insane. So one of them is, I mean, they're always doing something to hurt themselves. We're always dealing with some kind of injury. So
Oh
it's
wow.
they're problem children. That's
Mhm.
what I call them. They're my problem children. So I love them.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they definitely give me gray hair sometimes.
Absolutely. And kind of like what kind of injuries do they get and how do they get them? They're just like running wild or what can happen?
What don't they do? Um, they get stuck in the fences
Oh my
sometimes.
goodness.
Yeah, it's fun. They fight each other, which is great. So they'll get cut up when they fight. Sometimes they get a stomach ache and they're
Oh.
out for several days. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Never a dull moment for sure.
100%. And what would be like the main priorities that you always have to do for them to be able to care for them to make sure that they're healthy and to make sure that maybe they're not overworked? Because I've seen there's a lot of stuff in social media, not with therapeutics, but like with people that have horses in these carriages, and you see that there's a lot of them that sometimes get overworked.
For sure. Yeah. So that is, I like to tell people that the equine world is a very wonderful place. There are a lot of really wonderful people who love animals, who care deeply for them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a dark side to it. There
Yeah.
really is. And you don't have to look very hard to find it.
Mm-hmm.
It's, luckily, the people that are on our team are all really wonderful people who care for the horses. And so they're trained to watch out for things like that. To go directly to your question, the overworking side of it, all of our horses have a very strict regimented schedule. And so they can only be worked for a certain number of hours every day, a certain number of days a week. And that's followed to a T. And we also, we retire them when they're ready. We're about to retire one of our oldest herd members. I know we're going to miss her so much. She's 28 and she's ready to be good. And so you listen to them. They can't speak English. They can't talk, but they tell you loud and clear when something's wrong. And so if you listen to them, it's not difficult to catch things before they get really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we have very strict training regimen for all of them. We have very strict dietary restrictions for all of them. They have really set routines with pretty much every aspect of their lives here, and that really keeps them in shape and keeps them going.
Beautiful. And about the retirement, is this a specific age or it can vary depending on every horse?
It depends on the horse. So the one that we're about to retire is just aging out of our programming. She's getting older. She's tired, and so she's physically sound. There's nothing wrong with her, but she's lived a hard life. She's been worked a lot, and she's just ready to retire. So she's going off to be, we call them pasture pets. She's going to be a pasture pet until she's ready to, what do they call it, crossing the rainbow bridge or
Oh,
something
that's
like
so
that.
cute.
So it depends on the horse. Some of them, as they get older, they do develop health issues that retires them earlier than they would, for other horses. Some of them, they decide that they don't like what they do anymore, and that's fair too. I did that. I hated my job, and so I
Totally.
So, the same thing happens with horses. If they're not stimulated, if they get bored, that's a problem. So, part of my job is finding safe homes for them after they're done with our program.
Oh, I love that. That is
Mhm.
amazing. And okay, and what advice would you give to someone that wants to start a career in the equine world?
Uh, be persistent,
Mm-hmm.
and do your due diligence in where you're wanting to work. Earlier we talked about how there's a dark side to the equine world.
Yeah.
It's it's so unfortunate that that exists, but it's really easy to find yourself in a situation where it looks really great on the outside, and when you get in there, it's not what it seems.
Uh huh. Exactly.
Yeah, so just do your research and really figure out the ins and outs of the places that you're wanting to work, and be persistent with it. If it's something that you really want, the right moment will come along. You just have to keep trying.
Mm-hmm.
There is a really big shortage of instructors in general. Just you know, it's a small field. It
Mm-hmm.
really is very small,
Yeah.
and so your chances of getting hired are relatively high. So getting hired somewhere wouldn't be the problem if you're qualified.
Mm-hmm.
It's the you want to make sure that you're working in a place that's good and
Yeah.
really wants to help people and helps the horses. So
A hundred
that would be
percent.
my biggest piece of advice.
100%. It also, because sometimes we're like, or some people think I'm not really doing nothing wrong because I'm not the owner of the company, but
Exactly.
working for the company, it's supporting it in a kind of way. Maybe you're not making the end decisions, but yes, you're kind of supporting it. So definitely to keep that in mind.
Yeah, there are a lot of really great places,
Mm-hmm.
especially in our area. We have a really any therapeutic barn that's kind of certified with PATH. Um, they're usually really reputable, just great people, and so that's I would start there.
Got it. Perfect. And Chelsea, do you guys how do you get your clients mostly? Is it mostly through referrals? Is it through maybe doctors? Is it through digital marketing? Or is it a mix of everything?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
it's a yeah, it's a mix of everything. So we have two miniature horses, Thunder and Lightning, and yes, they are our biggest marketing
Yes.
tool for sure. And so we have a mobile program where we load them up and take them to schools, learning centers. We've taken them to a couple of memory care facilities, and so that's a big way that we spread the word is just bringing the horses to people. And so that's a big one. We also do have all of our social media. We have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of those fun things.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're contracted with different insurance agencies, and they do handle a lot of our referrals as well. So if
Mm-hmm.
people want to pay using their insurance, we always have to go through the insurance agencies to get authorization for their services.
Mm-hmm.
So and honestly, quite a bit of it is word of mouth. We have such a high success rate with all of our clientele that they tell their friends tell their
Mm-hmm.
friends. We get people, three people removed. Like my friend of a friend of a friend told me that you guys. So it's
Yeah,
a lot of it is word of mouth. It's
very cool.
when you have such positivity that's being spread, it goes a long way
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
without you really even trying.
Right, right, totally. And would you say that you guys are pretty booked at the moment, or you guys are always looking to expand?
We are always looking to expand. So we just hired two new instructors. So
Mm.
we are off of the wait list for the first time in about 2 years. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so we're actively taking clients right now, which is great. We have six new ones just from this month alone that are starting with us, and so it's we're growing and we're excited about it. We're really really excited.
Very cool. And in regards to, so you talked about social media and some of the digital platforms. I'm not sure if you have a lot of involvement with this, but if you do, or if you know, do you guys just do kind of like the organic part, which would be just posting content and videos, or do you guys do any kind of advertising, like paid advertising?
We don't do any paid advertising at the moment. We do just the organic posts, and we also try to interact with as many local businesses and other therapeutic riding barns in the area. Anybody who is remotely involved with what we do, we like to interact with them on social media just to kind of get um, just grow the outreach.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, just any kind of networking event, we also do that as well. We go to business showcases and stuff like that. But
Very cool.
yeah, we don't have any paid advertising at the moment.
Okay, awesome. And I don't know if you knew, but there's this program from Google Ads actually. They have a program specifically for nonprofits where if you apply with them and they accept you, they give you up to $10,000 for free in advertising. So
Oh
that's
wow,
something that you guys should definitely look into because if it's free, why not? So basically, you just have to get approved by them. Either you can manage or whatever. If any person knows about marketing, they can manage it, or you could hire somebody to manage it for you. Which of course they'll charge you kind of like a fee, but the 10,000 are free. So definitely look into that.
nice. Okay, I definitely will. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And what would you say that's the biggest challenge that you guys have had to grow the business?
I mean, life of a nonprofit, financial for
Yeah,
sure. It's
yeah.
you know, it's difficult because we rely so much on sponsors
Mhm.
and private donations.
Mhm.
You can send out 40 grants a year and be awarded three.
Yeah,
You never know. Never
absolutely.
know. So the financial part of running a nonprofit is definitely the most difficult. And we've gone through some rough times. We almost had to close our doors over
Oh
COVID.
wow.
Luckily, we were able to push through. But I mean, it's kind of hard to give horseback riding lessons when the world's shut down.
Of course. Oh, it
So
was such a hard time. It was terrible.
we've gone through some rough times financially, but we're coming out on the other side of it,
Good.
and we've got some pretty big donations coming. We're constantly looking for sponsors, of course.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just having the 5-year business plan and a board of directors that's available for strategic planning has been, I mean, it's been a game changer. Having board members that are not even willing, but just eager to set aside time to figure out how to get us there
Mhm.
realistically to meet the goals that we have written out in that 5-year plan. It's big and
Yeah.
it's very helpful. So yeah, it's yeah, finances are fun.
I bet. I've talked actually to a lot of nonprofits through the podcast, and
Mhm.
it's a thing. It's definitely tricky, but I would say it's 100% worth it because all of the nonprofits do beautiful missions. So I think it's a struggle
It's
worth
it's an
having.
amazing world.
100%.
Yeah, it is a necessary evil, right?
Yes, exactly. Okay, well, thank you so much, Chelsea. It was an amazing conversation. I learned a lot about your industry, so super excited about that. Where can people learn either more about you or about therapeutics horse riding?
Okay, so we have all of the information up on our website. So it's www.openmyworld.org. So you can always go to our website, has all of our information regarding lessons, all of our programs, has information on all of our horses too. So, and if you see a horse that you like, you can sponsor them and help feed them and all of that fun stuff. So we have our website there. We do have Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, Open My World. And then you can always contact me personally. So my email is chelsea@openmyworld.org. And then I can send it to you because, my parents decided to spell my name very strangely. So,
Right.
but I can send that to you. And I since I got this promotion, I live on my phone now, so I'm very quick to answer anything.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Awesome. Perfect, Chelsea. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for inviting me on. I really appreciate it.